Ready?
Yep.
Okay. What is it like to work in a low-income neighborhood?
The low-income neighborhood presents many challenges, especially for the folks who live here. While food is available nearby, people don't always have enough money to purchase food, and so we certainly support local food pantries. Oftentimes there are issues, mental health issues or addiction issues that happen, and housing issues that people find, they may be able to stay with friends or such like that, but they're still considered homeless. And so we find people coming to the church seeking assistance in many different ways, and we're able to make referrals to various service agencies here in town. So like I said, it presents different kinds of challenges for us, but we try to serve as much as we can.
Okay. Does the neighborhood climate affect your job as the pastor?
Oh wow, yes, I think it does, because it in a lot of ways it's an inspiration in that there's so many opportunities for ministry with families. Where there's a lot of kids that live in the neighborhood, and so we try to connect with the school, the Clarendon School, and other ways with families. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing for me. There are challenges, great opportunities, frustrations when you see that it's difficult for people to kind of climb out of that poverty and low-income neighborhood, but keeps us going.
Do you notice a lot of homeless people migrating towards this church?
We haven't a lot, and so, depending on what you mean, we do have people that come in and seek, assistance. So in that sense, yeah, we haven't had, in terms of, we haven't seen a lot of folks that we know are homeless that come to worship or et cetera. But yeah, so we are on, main drag through Enos Park, and so we're very visible, and so people do stop and seek assistance.
Do you think the church could do more for these people?
Well, I do. It's but to sort of list it all out right away would be more difficult. And I think it requires seeking guidance and prayer, and through prayer on what are the ways, and I would like to picture it more as doing with, or how do we form partnerships with service agencies, with the neighborhood association, with law enforcement, and how do we partner with homeless people themselves to get them to build, help build themselves up as well, right? Kind of doing with more than for.
Do you think our local government could do more for the homeless people?
I think they're trying really hard, and they recently started a new task force on homelessness that seeks to bring together, rather than having all these agencies working in silos, to bring them together so that they can really provide. If someone is an emergency service that or needs emergency service, they can get that person the help that they need, whether it's rehab or safety in a place, something like that. So they're trying hard. You can never have enough money to get the job done, and so that certainly would be one way to dedicate more funds to it, I think. But that, of course, has to come balanced against everything else that the city has to pay for.
Do you think the holidays are a harder time for the homeless?
I do, in one sense. Those of us that have more resources are, going and doing and enjoying and buying presents and et cetera, and here's a person that doesn't even have a roof over their head, kind of things, or is in a shelter. But that, what I'm saying. I do think that at the holiday season, people think more about how they can help others. So that's a good thing. But often, people just kind of rush by that person and they don't really notice them. So.
And what do you think one common misconception about homelessness is?
One common, I think the common and difficult assumption about homelessness is that it's their fault. It's all their own doing. Yes, it happens when people are addicted to drugs and alcohol. Yes, it happens, when people don't have jobs. But not everybody is in a situation or a position where they can just kind of pull themselves up by their own bootstraps and go. They need the help of the agencies that are out there to help or to work through the system and to build. I don't know. Well, I guess I would say, I think that there are very few people who are just want to be homeless. It's hard to say that anybody would want to be homeless, but I think that we can't just say, well, it's their own problem. We're put here to help each other, and I think that's part of what Christ calls us to do, is to help in those situations. So that's the most damaging assumption I think that people can make. So we keep working to change that.
Right.
All right.
Thank
All right.